Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Clean water is one of our most valuable resources. Conserving it should be all of our responsibility. Remember every day to make every drop count. Wash full loads, take shorter showers, turn off your faucet. Water. Use it wisely. Let's commit to conserve.
and by Medarva, providing mobile vision and hearing screenings to prepare preschoolers for kindergarten.
What's going on? We got a show to do.
Oh, is that now?
Yeah.
It's been a long season already, man. Late nights, extra innings, big league rehabbers. All right, there you go. You're going to be looking good in about 2 minutes.
That's all it takes, 2 minutes?
That's it. Perfection.
Flying Squirrels Insider is back, and this week we visit with Flying Squirrels outfielder and former New York Yankee Slade Heathcott. It's been a busy week for the Squirrels as the team made an appearance on ESPN and also welcomed back to town MLB All-Star Brandon Crawford. The Squirrels have seen streaks come and go this season and are looking to take off in the month of May. Of course, we break it all down for you and give you a little bit more wackiness on this episode of Flying Squirrels Insider.
And we're already having a little fun here on Flying Squirrels Insider. Welcome back inside the WCVE studios. I'm Jay Burnham alongside Sam Ravech as we have a lot to discuss for the Flying Squirrels. But first, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's action. The Medarva Vision and Hearing Screening Program is an educational program with a screening component providing free state-of-the-art vision and hearing screenings to children about to enter kindergarten. Please contact screening@medarva.com for additional information. And our friends at Utility Buddy from the City of Richmond Department of Public Utilities. They make us aware of Richmond's stormwater utility to help protect the environment this fall. Fertilize your lawn and garden, sweep up yard debris, and don't overwater. To learn more about protecting the environment, visit richmondgov.com/DPU and click Storm Water Utility. Also, once again, if you want to win free stuff, feel free to text us. Scratch off to win. Text FSI to 63975 with mobile marketing services provided by Opt-in Technologies. Message and data rates may apply. With that said, I'll bring in the aforementioned Sam Ravech. And Sam, it's not every day that you get to watch a big league player in a minor league ballpark, but that happened for the Flying Squirrels this past week. And what a day it was to have Brandon Crawford here.
Well, welcome home, Brandon Crawford, a guy who played in the inaugural season back in 2010 and returning home and certainly brought that excitement to the ballpark. And it might have been something that the Squirrels needed.
And the Squirrels, with a 3,000-mile differential between here in San Francisco. It's not every day that you get a Major League Baseball player making his way back on a rehab assignment. Crawford was placed on the DL at the big leagues on the 29th of April and is working back from a groin injury. In his first at-bat, he did not disappoint. No,
he certainly didn't. That groin looked fine. But what Brandon Crawford is able to do, not only offensively, but what we saw from him, we saw players go up to him and ask some advice of him. Bounce ideas off of him. That's what he's able to provide, that veteran presence. And it certainly looked like he was back in the swing of things. Certainly no problem running the bases. And we didn't get him for just one, but we got him for 2 days, which was even more special.
Yeah, and the Giants excited to get him back in the lineup later on in the week. But the Squirrels certainly would take a bat like that in their lineup. And it came at the right time, Sam, because the Squirrels had lost 3 consecutive games at the tail end of the series against Bowie last weekend. But Crawford providing a little bit of boost for the team and Richmond getting back to their winning ways.
Yeah, and that was really important. We saw the Flying Squirrels struggle a little bit towards the end of that Bowie series. They couldn't get the runs across the board, but what we saw at the start of the Altoona series was the bat started to come alive, and that confidence boost will certainly be able to carry them on through the rest of the series against an Altoona team that's at the top of the Western Division.
And the Squirrels squaring off against that Altoona team. They've had a hard time against them over the past 2 seasons, but getting the win on Monday with Crawford in the lineup and getting some contributions from a guy that really had a solid 2 weeks in Hunter Cole, who had a 12-game hitting streak come to an end.
Yeah, how about Hunter Cole? And when I think of Hunter Cole, I think of mental toughness at the plate. A guy who's now had 2 rough starts to the season, dating back to last year and then this year. Started off the season 3 for 38 at the plate. Now that's tough for anybody, but what Hunter Cole was able to do at the plate is be patient. He didn't struggle, he didn't waste any time. He got right back into it. 12-game hitting streak, and that's tough to do, and that's the 3rd longest streak in the Eastern League, Jay.
Yeah, and so a quick turnaround for him. That's certainly a good sign for the Kyle Haynes offense, and the Squirrels also getting production from the middle of the order with Chris Shaw, but you mentioned patience for Hunter Cole. That's been key for Chris Shaw as well, as he is one of the best in the league in drawing walks. Yeah,
Chris Shaw, I think we're going to see more of the Eastern League start to pitch around Chris Shaw. He's such a tough guy to pitch to because he's able to hit the ball to all parts of the field. Obviously, they put the shift on him a little bit towards the right side of the infield, but then again, if you make a mistake against Chris Shaw, he's going to make you pay for it, and he'll put it over the right field wall.
Shaw with an on-base percentage over 400. He's been playing left field a little bit. That's been a bit of a tough spot for the San Francisco Giants at the big league level. So every time he takes that outfield position, there's rumblings out in the Bay Area that, hey, maybe Shaw is the next guy.
Well, I think that's something we're seeing more and more of. Versatility in the outfield. You're able to play multiple positions. That utility position is something that's going to be key. And especially for a young guy, Chris Shaw, he's able to learn more positions. He's an athletic guy. He's able to patrol the outfield very well. And it seemed like a seamless transition to the outfield for him.
Season doesn't always unfold as you expect it to, and the Squirrels had anticipated at the start of this season having a few extra bats in their lineup, that being Steven Duggar and C.J. Hinojosa, 2 key parts for the Flying Squirrels at the end of last season. Well, they get one of those 2 back in the lineup this week, with C.J. Hinojosa making his 2017 debut back from an injury, and in his first swing of the bat, didn't disappoint, connected on a base hit to left field. So good to have him back in the lineup for Richmond.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we were able to see what C.J. Hinojosa was able to provide last year in 57 games with the Squirrels. He provided an offensive boost, but Jay, I think what else he provides on the field is defense, and that's something that the Flying Squirrels have been struggling with. They've led the Eastern League in errors with 33 at one point this year, and they're still at the bottom of that Eastern League in defensive percentage. So what C.J. Hinojosa will be able to do is shore up the defense and provide a defensive boost and just kind of provide that key that we've kind of been missing so far this season.
Yeah, one of the top Giants prospects, Hinojosa. For 2 days, the Squirrels had probably their best defensive alignment that they'll ever see, being Hinojosa at third base and Brandon Crawford at short, because of course Crawford here, Hinojosa had to be displaced for a couple of games, and he certainly did not mind. On to the pitching staff here for just a moment. The bullpen continues to be a solid part of this team. Carlos Alvarado is a guy that's really not on the Baseball America top 30 radar, but he's certainly on the Giants radar. Was a non-roster invitee to spring training, and his strikeout to walk numbers are pretty ridiculous to begin the year.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. But sometimes, Jay, what can get lost is the fact that Alvarado can get lost in the shuffle between a Reyes Moranta and maybe even a Rodolfo Martinez in the bullpen, just because those guys are so electric. But what Carlos Alvarado has been able to provide for the Squirrels is solid innings out of the bullpen. He's able to go multiple innings as well, which just provides that versatility. He's able to work both sides of the plate, and what's most important, Jay, is he keeps the ball low in the zone.
Yeah, 27 strikeouts to 4 walks for Alvarado. Big frame, a guy that comes downhill at you, has that power fastball, but you're right, not really at the front end, so to speak, but certainly is there for the Flying Squirrels, and a guy that has battled injuries over the course of his career. So it's interesting to see how someone like that can fight through adversity, stick with it despite the fact that it might feel like you're never going to get out there again, and finally be healthy and finally contribute.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you talk about many pitchers who have injuries, who have come back from injuries. It's a very tough thing to do, especially if it's involving your elbow or your arm. And those were a few injuries that Alvarado had to overcome. He certainly has, and he's providing some great innings out of the bullpen.
One guy that has overcome a lot of adversity will join us here in studio, Slade Heathcott, who made his, I don't think it's his ESPN debut, but his 2017 ESPN debut, as he made a top 10 catch on SportsCenter, and so he is a guy that also has overcome some difficulties in his career, but good to see him back on track as well.
Yeah, it's very good to see him back on track and here with us. And Jay, there are 2 words that I've kind of been using over the course of this season with this team. It's been reliability and consistency. And when I think about Slade Heathcott, what he is able to provide for this team is reliability and consistency. You know what you're going to get from Slade Slade Heathcott. At the plate, he provides some great offense. He can move it to both sides of the field. And, Jay, he patrols that center field like nobody's business. And that's something that the Giants will certainly be looking at.
Yeah, he could be in the plans as well when you start to look down the minor league system to see who might be able to add help at the big league level. Heathcott, probably the best defensive center fielder in this league, I would assume.
I would assume so too, and he's able to make plays that are just dazzling. And we talk about route efficiency. That's a stat that is looked at very impressively in the big leagues, and Slade Heathcott has been making some great routes to the ball, and he cuts down the time that it takes to get to the ball. And we saw it on ESPN in the top 10 plays. It was number 8. I think it should have been closer to number 1 or 2, Jay.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the guys on the team said as well. Actually, the very next ball was hit to the same location for Heathcott. He almost robbed that one as well for a home run, but instead it went over the wall. Sam, quickly, before we get out of here, you've got the Squirrels that had a bit of a stutter step to the first month of the season, but it feels as though they've turned that corner defensively and offensively, and this next 2 weeks or so will tell you a lot about what the future for this team is going to be. Yeah,
it definitely will, Jay, and I use the terminology as May is going to be kind of like moving day for the Squirrels. As far as a PGA Tour, you talk about Saturday for a moving day, and I think May is going to be that moving month for the Flying Squirrels.
Well, that'll do it for the desk segment here on FSI. Still plenty more to come. Stay with us.
I went to the store yesterday and bought a package of boxer shorts. These shorts nowadays come in packages of 3. No, they don't let you purchase just one, but that's not my point. The curious thing to me is that these boxer shorts arrive in a resealable package. Boxer short packages with a Ziploc top. Why on earth would I want that? Are people using these shorts, placing them back in the package, and then resealing them to save away for another day? I don't know about you, but when I open my boxer shorts, that's it. There's no turning back.
And we're here at FSI Field as promised with Flying Squirrels center fielder Slade Heathcott. And Slade, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Last week when we were in Hartford, you made a catch that made SportsCenter's top 10. How did that make you feel? Was that the first time you had been on the top 10 rundown?
It actually wasn't, but you know, it's why we're out there. From the infield to the outfield, we're there to try to make plays to help pitchers, and you know, that's why it takes all 9 of us out there.
So you made your big league debut with the New York Yankees. Now you're with the Giants organization. Can you take us back to when you first got the call to go to the major leagues and what that meant to you?
Yeah, you know, it was late one night. I don't watch baseball once I leave the field and things like that, so we were hanging out at the house. My son was actually in town. Actually, when I had got the call, I was actually feeding him, giving him a bottle. You know, it's just everybody has a path in this game and a journey that sometimes are more difficult, sometimes not. But it's just one of those things that, you know, perseverance and pushing through and finally be able to have that dream come true. Yeah. It was awesome.
And you have persevered. You've overcome quite a bit. What's one of the bigger things that you've overcome in your career?
Probably my last surgery that I had, 2014.
And that was on your knee?
My right knee, yeah. Later in November of 2014, I was actually told that there's a good chance that I would never play again, and I just refused to accept it.
You used that as motivation?
I did. You know, I started changing the words I use, what came in. I realized that, you know, what we take in comes out. So, and I just believe that we all have the ability and power to overcome obstacles in life if we choose to.
Now, I think I told you this earlier on this season, but Richmond is one of the more tattooed towns in the country, and you come with a variety of different tattoos. If you wouldn't mind maybe explaining some of those on your left arm?
I would.
All right.
Starting at the bottom, I have dog tags with no names on them, ultimately just to represent anyone that's paid the ultimate sacrifice. I have a son here saluting his father's grave at Arlington Cemetery. I put it down there so I would look at it and remind me of why I go about my business every day, why I have to work hard, why I can't take a pitch off, why I can't take a second off in life to make time as valuable as I possibly can, because somebody out there, a child, a daughter, a mother, a husband, a wife, has lost somebody for me to be able to do what I do every day. So that's there to remind me. The eagle is just overlooking the child, and it was just a representation that, you know, it's a country together. Everybody's together in a time in society where everybody's split. The eagle's there to represent that we have to come together. We're all looking over each other's back. Get into the Hudson River and to the Twin Towers. I have the American flag, obviously. Then we have the New York City skyline. I have the beams here showing where the old Twin Towers were, and right below it in the Hudson River is the actual Twin Towers. And it's a memory for me to remember that the past is the past, you don't forget it. But then right here I have the Freedom Tower, and it's a representation of the past is the past, but we're going to move on, and there is a future.
Did you have that when you were with the New York Yankees?
I did not. I actually did that all this offseason.
Oh, wow. So
it actually goes into my chest, and it's Army Ranger Memorial for my uncle. So.
And there's a real solid theme there, and it's a remembrance for you and inspiration as well. So that's it. That for any given day, if you're having a down time or you're thinking this game has done something to me, there it is on your arm.
Yeah, you know, I changed. Like I said, I changed what came in, and I realized that whether we have a good day or bad day is up to us. Yeah. Everything else is on the external and exterior. And if we worry about what's in the internal and what we can control, then your day is either as good or as bad as you want it to be.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you, thank you.
Appreciate it. Slade Heathcott joining us here at FSI Field. More to come on Flying Squirrels Insider. A lot of people don't know this, but there is a full working and operational kitchen here at the Diamond behind the team store. I'm here with my sous chef, Malcolm, and we're going to prove to you that you can deep fry anything. Malcolm, what do we have here today? We got some Reese's peanut butter cups.
We got some cookie dough. Okay. We got some avocados that we're going to try to deep fry. Like Jay says, you can just deep fry just about anything and it's going to taste good.
We hope so. Yeah. We've got a willing panel of two Flying Squirrels players and our community relations director, Megan Engstad, to see if indeed we can deep fry anything. But I'm just going to go ahead and start us off here, shall we?
Yes.
You know what we need? Crushed breadcrumbs. Bombs away. People say guac is extra usually. Yeah. Fried avocado is going to cost extra. 86 the bite. Now for the oh, man!
Even though I don't like avocados, it looks good.
This is your gateway. Yeah. This is what they call the gateway avocado. Cookie dough, avocado, buffalo avocado, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Delicious.
You can deep fry anything. See how it tastes. We're inside Suite 6 here at the Diamond. I have my 3 brave soldiers who are going to be blindfolded while they taste what we have deep fried. I want to introduce you to them right now. Over here we have Mr. Tyler Cyr. Tyler, could you please tell everybody what you do and where you're from?
Right-handed pitcher, relief pitcher, and I'm from Fremont, California.
Any particular favorite foods?
I have to go with sushi is my go-to.
I'm Megan, Director of Community Relations and Flying Squirrels Charities, here for the Squirrels. My favorite food would have to be tacos.
You could deep fry that, although we didn't do that today. Mr. Carlos Garcia.
Well, I play infield and outfield. I'm from Venezuela, and I like fish.
Fish. Okay, we got 2 sushis and a taco. None of those items are in what we've deep fried for you guys today.
Oh, something sweet.
Yeah?
It smells like a cookie, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a cookie too.
Dough? Is it just cookie dough?
Fried cookie
Fried
dough.
cookie
All right.
dough.
You don't need a fork, just go hands. All right.
Oh, don't like the texture. That's mushy. Is it avocado?
That is definitely avocado.
All right.
Yeah, this one tastes like avocado.
Yeah? You guys are 2 for 2. Dessert.
The cookie dough wasn't dessert?
No.
All right.
Peanut?
I think I got it.
I like peanut.
There's definitely, yeah, it kind of tastes like peanut butter.
That's 100% just peanut butter.
Yeah.
Reese's.
Yes! Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Ding, 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 ding.
You're good, Tyler.
Last week, I found a wad of Brandon Crawford's gum outside after batting practice. We threw it in the deep fryer just to see what it would do. Let's see if one of our contestants will actually take a bite. It might have magical powers. All right, all you guys, thanks for playing. I have one more special item that we happened to find this past week at the Diamond. This one's for you, Tyler Cyr.
Do we know what it is, or are we just guessing?
Just all right, crack at it.
It's kind of crunchy. I think I might have a gold glove in my future with that. It's good stuff.
Instruction time here at FSI Field with Flying Squirrels center fielder Slade Heathcott. And Slade, before we get to you robbing a home run, your process defensively begins even before the pitch is thrown. Can you start there for us?
Yeah, so, you know, center field, I'm going from, I use an eye movement deal to keep my brain functional without being stationary. So I'll go from back to, and I'll pick a target to the right or left, normally to the right dugout post or something. I go back and forth, kind of a slow rhythm. So when the pitcher starts his wind up and the leg comes up, I'm walking into it and I stop. So right before the ball comes across the hitting zone, I want my right foot coming down so then I can react.
So you're constantly in motion, whether it be your eyes shifting, your body moving, so you're ready to attack.
Yeah, and it's no different than you see guys stealing from, stealing bases. You hear guys after they hold it for a while, don't go. That's the same thing. So I try to keep a movement in my eyes so I can't overthink things. I already know the process in my head, what's going to go. I go through what's going to happen, where the ball can hit, what possibilities are in each play.
And you're actually not watching the ball off the bat, but the hitter and the bat itself. Can you maybe explain that to us a little bit?
Yeah, so, I go from the back post, and then once the ball gets in the zone, I don't want to see the ball. I don't want to look at the ball because the ball can be deceiving sometimes in the upper levels because a ball in could be hit oppo or a ball off the plate could be pulled into the gap, especially with bigger guys, 3, 4, 5 hole hitters that are trying to do a lot of damage. So I try to watch the bat because the bat will tell you everything. And I see the baseball, I'm just not focused on the baseball. So that way, if I'm focused on the baseball, I'm not picking up everything else that's around it. And really the bat and the batter will tell you most of everything, whether he's out in front or it gets jammed. That'll tell you whether the ball's hit hard. That gives me a little more information to know whether I'm going in or whether I'm going back.
2 weekends ago in Hartford, there were a couple of hard hit balls and you were able to get one over the left center field wall. Can you take us to that process to where you've got the fly ball coming to the outfield? Sam's going to toss you one. Are you feeling for the outfield wall before you make the leap and take the home run away, or what are you doing there before you get to the outfield wall?
I'm probably a rarity. I don't like knowing, so I don't want my corner outfielders or other outfielders to tell me anything about the warning track or wall or anything because I don't want that in my mind because I'm not worried about running into the wall. But it starts really in BP because then I know the warning track, I know I'll step it off or have an idea. So then I know 1, 2 steps because I can feel it when you're running and you're paying attention, you can feel the difference between grass to dirt.
Okay.
So once I hit the dirt, then I know I'm close.
Okay.
So once I've taken a read back, you can, and you kind of peek back and forth. So you see the ball off, and then without ever really taking your eyes off the ball, you can see kind of the relationship of where the wall is. So use your peripheral vision.
Toss him one, Sam.
Yeah, so when you're going this way, you can kind of see. So once the ball has gotten here, up front this way, I can't really see the wall. Once the ball is getting here, I can see that this wall is right here without ever looking at it. So then it's just a timing of slowing down to get to the right point. It's kind of like a cornerback trying to catch the ball at the highest point.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. So it's a timing of trying to get here, see the wall, I peek back and forth, and then it's whether I jump, whatever it might be.
I heard through that as well, knowing your environment, when you get to a new ballpark, know where the track is and how many steps you have to get to the actual wall itself.
Right, yeah. So like I said, in BP, I'll walk out. You know, once I've played somewhere once, we pretty much remember.
Right.
A lot of warning tracks are the same. Some are different. You know, when you play in the Trop, there is no warning track, so that's a tough place to play. So
that's the Tropicana Field in the big leagues with the Tampa Bay Rays. Slade, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Sam as well. And if you're not afraid of running into an outfield wall, replay those instructions from Mr. Slade Heathcott. That's all the time we have for today on FSI. Big thanks to the crew, Bryant Dameron and Craig Keaton. Until next time, for Sam and Slade, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long from the WCVE studios.
Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by
Smell gas? Act fast. Don't just stand there. Leave the area. Get out. Go where the smell is no longer present and call 911. Making you aware, keeping you safe. We're Richmond's Natural Gas Safety Awareness Program.
and by Medarva, providing mobile vision and hearing screenings to prepare preschoolers for kindergarten.